If you have a 10,000 ringgit budget for a video shoot, how do you spend it? Theoretically speaking, here's how I would break it down. First things first, set aside 15 to 20% as your profit. This is basically what you're going to be making for the whole project. Next, I'll set aside 5 to 10% as contingency budget. This means if shit happens, I still can move forward with the shoot. After that comes the biggest expenditure, which is the crew. For this, I will usually set aside 30 to 40% because sometimes we have multiple people working on the same project and everyone has their own individual day rates and we need to account for this. Then I will set aside 10% on location. Whether you're shooting in your own studio or you're renting a studio, it doesn't matter, because if it's your own studio, you still need to account for the electricity and also the post-shoot cleanup. I will also set aside 10% for the art. This is where we buy props to elevate and make our scene look good. Next important thing to account for is meals on set. I usually set aside 5%, but again, it will depend on the number of crew you have involved on the shoot day. Another important cost factor is gear rental. I usually set aside 5 to 10% for this. So if you need a specific gear but you don't have it, just rent it rather than buying it, because it's going to be less wasteful for you to rent. Last but not least, I will factor about 10 to 20% for post-production. Even if it's just a simple edit, you still need to do this because you're paying for subscriptions: Premiere Pro, Lightroom, Photoshop, DaVinci Resolve, and even music library. Most often, we're going to have friction between the allocated budget and the client expectations. So we need to be wise and manage our finances well so that we don't lose money. Follow if you want to see me yap more about these topics.